And I'm going to mute this out. Okay, Rhonda, you'll need to unmute again. All right, well, welcome to our Saturday morning presentation. And there's Jeff and Debbie, or there's Debbie. Is Jeff on there?
Yes.
Make you a co-host. Where's Jeff? Jeff, raise your hand. Oh, there you are, right there, right next to your better half. Okay, there we go. Lenny, I don't know, is Lenny on too? Maybe
I
I
didn't see him yet.
haven't seen him. So welcome to the Saturday morning presentation. We're well under the way into 2020. And, we have a message that is so important and incredible value. Bob Proctor says the more value you have to offer somebody or society, the greater worth. So if you want to feel a sense of purpose, it's add value to other people's lives and be a go-giver. I like that saying, a go-giver. And that's what we're here to do on this Saturday morning. There's no other intentions other than to give. That's what all of us presenters are going to be doing here today, is giving the best of what we got to help people to enjoy a better quality of life. So, Ronda, you've been doing it for over 20 years now. Just an incredible individual. I still remember those first days back when I first met you. I think David Wood was doing like Mastering the Stage or Good to Great or something like that, right? And what an incredible journey it's been for us, for me, coming up on 2 decades this year, and just super excited. So with that, let me just share the screen and show our disclaimer here real quick for a recording. And Rhonda, I'm going to toss it over to you to start us off with your incredible results. That's why we're here, right? Our results.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, results. It's all about results, you guys. 22 years ago, I was 35 years old or 37 it is here, I think. I don't know. It was around there. And I was really struggling, you guys. All my life, it had been so easy for me to maintain my lean, healthy, vibrant, fit body. And my right about that time in my life, nothing was working. And I was so grateful. I got a phone call from a dear friend of mine because I woke up in the morning, I felt tired, right? I started my day on a pot of coffee. I was tired by noon. I was not able to let go of fat that was accumulating on my body, and I wasn't used to that. None of my clothes were fitting me, and I was just really unhappy with how I was feeling, and I was trying everything. And Dave's story, when he shares it, it's the same. And I think a lot of you on this call, if you relate to that, put a 5 in the chat if you were in that place or you are in that place. And I was like, oh my gosh, nothing was working. And I get this phone call from my dear friend, Dr. John Gray, who's like so fired up. He's like, Rhonda, he's like, I just dropped 20 pounds. And he's like, it's all off my waist. And, I didn't even know he had 20 pounds to lose, but he was so happy because just like me, just like many of you, he was struggling. And so he said, I want you to do me a favor. He's like, I want you to try these products. And it was really interesting what he said to me next, Dave. He said, if you love them, I'll show you how you can make some retirement income if you want. Now, I really wanted those products to get that excess fat off my body, Dave. And another thing that I was really struggling with at that time in my life was I wasn't making enough money. And I was going further and further into debt, you guys. And I was frightened for my financial future deeply. So when John Gray said I could make some retirement income, which I had all of 0 at that time saved for retirement. And I was so afraid because I started to see what happens, to people's lives. And when they're in their 70s and 80s and 90s and they don't have any money. And I started to see that for myself, witnessing some of my family members. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is just unbelievable. I have to find a way to make some extra money. So that was 22 years ago. My first 9 days, you guys, I dropped 9 pounds. I felt like someone plugged me into a light switch. I was on, alive for the first time. And that's why I decided to learn how to share this in the world. So that's a little bit about my background, Dave. And the retirement income has been incredible. It's such a blessing. But it's nothing really, honestly, for me, compared to what we're doing here, helping people with their health.
Yeah, amen to that. And yeah, my story's a lot like yours. I'll show my pictures in just a second, but we all have our own story in one way or another. And it's because we're all everybody's struggling with their health. Your health is your number one asset. I remember hearing Jacqueline Kennedy, I think we all know the Kennedys, right? President Kennedy. And when she was in the hospital bed, she said, I would give all my millions to get my health back. But it doesn't work that way, right? We've got to do things that are proactive when it comes to our health. And Isagenix really nails it in that category. So look at these are the latest statistics this year. This was in Dr. Casey Means in her interview that's gone viral. 74% of adults are obese. That's 30 pounds or more overweight. And for every extra 5 pounds that we're carrying is like pumping your blood to the moon and back on your heart. It's that much more work to get things moving through the system. For every 5 pounds. So imagine I released 53 pounds with Isagenix. So I have my fat my thing up there. I showed it in BNI the other day. Everybody's passing it around. Big old 5-pound blob of fat. 50% of kids are obese. Remember when we were younger, some of us that are up there in age, that we were out playing till the street lights came on, right? Playing hide and seek and kick the can and didn't have an issue with weight. 18% of teens have fatty liver disease that you would find in a late stage alcoholic. Why is that? Because they're not drinking alcohol. They're pre-teenagers or young teenagers. 77% of young adults are unfit to serve in the military. I mean, you talk about the heartbeat of, a country and what protects our rights and our freedoms. That means less than 25% are capable of doing that? Where are we headed? 50% of adults are pre-diabetic. That means 1 in every 2 people. You pass 2 people, one of them has diabetes or pre-diabetic. 30% of teens are also pre-diabetic or diabetic. And Casey said in the interview in 1950, there wouldn't have been any pediatrician that was, had a patient that had diabetes. There just wasn't enough of them to go around. Cancer skyrocketing in the young and the old. And there's an expected 2 million new cases this year. And the U.S. has the highest infant mortality, mother and infant mortality, meaning you could die giving birth or the baby could have some challenges, right, than any other developed country in the world. So we're talking Canada, anywhere in Europe, Italy, France, right? So that's just, and she said, and we spend 10 times more the amount of money than any other country. Something's not right. There's some things that are out of alignment here. And she says it's all really simple, right? To be able to fix this problem. Check out this one. Autism. In 1980, it was 1 in 10,000. No wonder I never heard of it back then. Now it's 1 in 36. No wonder we're all hearing about it now. 1 in 36. So she says, yeah, all of these things are really easy. She was a surgeon. She said, when I was operating on a patient for the 3rd time for the same thing, I was starting to ask myself, what's wrong with her? Why is she not getting better? We did the thing. We diagnosed, we did the procedure, and here she is again for the 3rd time. And then she had all these other issues, high blood pressure, diabetes, and focus issues. And she realized I couldn't diagnose her. I didn't know what the causes were. And she said, my education never taught us to look at causes. In fact, they strategically steered them away. They said, look, you just diagnose, you do the procedure, and then you bill them for it. And she said, I just couldn't do it anymore. She said, I walked in on my 9th year and gave him my scalpel, and I said, I'm done. She walked away. She said, my conscience couldn't do it anymore. And she realized through investigation was that all of these things stem from metabolic dysfunction, which is your gut. It's what we're putting in our bodies. And it's either helping and promoting health, or it's detracting and taking away from our health. Every time we put something in our body, you guys, think about that. So when we talk about behavior changes, some of you are already, right, utilizing Isagenix. If you're using it as a lifestyle approach, type a 7 in the chat box. And how many years you've been doing it too. We had to have somebody add them all up and see how many years we have combined on here. Between me and Ronda, we have over 40. So how many years you've been on, and a 7, type of 7, if you're using this as a lifestyle approach. I've been doing 2 shakes a day for 19 years, coming up on 20 years. So she says, yeah, it's the nutritionally bankrupt toxic foods. So when we're looking at nutritionally bankrupt foods, we're talking about our whole foods. There's so many documentaries. I remember Lanny had us sit together as a group and we did a Super Saturday where we watched Food Matters together. And in there, they said, you cannot get your nutrition from your grocery store anymore. It's impossible. you have to supplement. And it's like, I started having like the red pill moment. I started waking up the more things I learned, but they were cool things that empowered me because I had isogenics as the tool to fill in the vacuum. If it's not there, where am I going to get it, right? And isogenics changed that. 53 pounds, my fatigue went away. I just feel absolutely amazing every day. I wake up and ready to go. And I go long hours. I go from like 11 at night, I go from like 6 in the morning till 11 at night, all day long. So right here, it's showing these minerals right here, just a few of the minerals, they're no longer in the soil. And your body has to have these micronutrients to power the systems, your digestive system, your lymphatic system, your pulmonary system, your skeletal system, all of that. And if it's not getting it, then we degenerate. So just like if a car, if you take it away completely, you die. What if you just added a little bit of water to your fuel in your car every time you filled it up? Over time, it would run worse. It would start missing. And as you continue to add the water, it would break down and you would need some kind of repair, right? You wouldn't be able to drive it. What's happening to people? Look at the kids at younger and younger ages. They're breaking down because what they're putting in their body is not promoting health today. So 51 bowls of spinach in 2007 compared to what you would get from one bowl of spinach in the 1950s. And it's across the board. It's not just spinach. It's our fruits, vegetables, and grains. Rhonda, this is insane. It's insanity. And we get, we don't want to like really focus on the negative so much, but we need to know this stuff, right? We need to know that there needs to be, a resolve to what's going on. And we have to talk about the cause. But we've gotten a lot of joy out of sharing this information and what we're about to share with others and what's going to happen because of it, right? The changes we see in people. Anything you want to say? And then I'm going to share my story real quick and then I'll toss it over to you.
Yeah, go for it. Go.
So, look at these pictures here, right? Sarah's on the team. There's my results. Here's one of our clinical studies. It was published in Nature Communications, the gold standard of publications. We're going to have Dr. Paul Arciero share his results. But the results that matter the most is whose? Yeah, my results. To me, what matters the most is my results. If you can't fill your own cup, can you fill other people's cup during the day? No, you got to be there at the best you can. And I was trying everything. And if you can relate to this, it was like Ronda was saying, the fat wasn't releasing, right? The energy wasn't increasing. That rhymes. Fat wasn't releasing and the energy wasn't increasing. And I was exercising, running stadiums, lifting weights, juicing and supplementing with what the stores had to offer. I didn't feel any change, and it gets very frustrating. If you feel that kind of frustration, type a 3. If you've ever, with your health, try to improve it, and you're doing the right things, at least you think you are, and it's not working, and you felt frustrated, type a 3 in the chat box. So my wife introduced me to isogenics. I said no the first time. How many of you said no the first time you were offered isogenics, right? And then I got a second chance and she won some products. It was a total answer to prayer. And my transformation began the day I put it in my body. But that's 25 days right there. 25 days, I released 27 pounds. And in 8 weeks, I released 53 pounds. And that's 4.5 months out. I started getting the results beyond what I thought I should get, from what I was doing. And I felt so much better when I was really being strict and disciplined here. I didn't feel satiated. I didn't feel an enjoyment from life. It was more like a strict kind of like, almost like imprisoning myself to try to get the results. Isogenics totally eliminates that. That's why we love it and why we're so passionate about it. It's like, are you kidding? Who wouldn't drink these shakes every day? And so I made a lifestyle out of it. It's the easiest thing I ever done, and doing to get the best results I've ever got. So these are the 3 products back then. Man, these 3 pillars changed my life and I still utilize them today. I took some cleanse last night, shook it up right here in this shaker, and I drank some before I went to bed. And that's another thing that I'm doing. I'm making a habit out of doing that every night. I do 2 shakes a day, Ionic Supreme. We're going to talk about that. And then we've added some other products that are pillars of health. Isogenics is really setting a new standard when it comes to supporting our bodies nutritionally. So Rhonda, You want to talk about the vitamins here and kind of what happened? And
Oh, yeah, the vitamins are blowing my mind. So I love how you talk about it, Dave. I'm going to let you talk about the vitamins, but let me just say something, you guys. What I've noticed is there's a massive difference for people and for myself when they start putting our shakes into their body. Okay. Now it's a system. We got other products that go with it. Okay. The vitamins are brand new for us. And Dave, I love how you talk about the completion of the vitamins, because we were having all in the whole world since the 19 whatever 20s 30s when they came out with synthetic vitamins, and they were helping us not go completely on empty on vitamins, right, on the essential nutrients that our bodies need. It was helping us, be here with them. Okay. It wasn't giving us 100% of what we needed, but it was enough that we wouldn't go whoop out of it and then get, die. Right. So basically that's what was happening with synthetic vitamins. And Dave, I'm going to let you take over on that, and I'm going to jump back in.
yeah, exactly. And it started really, and this is an education. There's a new word you're going to hear if you're a guest here today, just like some of the other new words we've heard, like telomere, telomerase with the geneticist, Dr. Bill Andrews. But Dr. Plant taught me a new word called vitamer. And so in the 1920s, he also taught this, like with isogenesis, because it's based on science, you could teach the facts. And there's some facts that we just haven't gotten yet, right? Like I was asleep in that class, or I never attended that class, right? So in the 1920s, they started manufacturing the food, taking it from a whole food source where, in the kitchen, it would be broken down into a meal. Well, they started breaking it down in factories. Why? Because populations were becoming more concentrated. They had factories and assembly lines, and people saw an opportunity. Entrepreneurs saw an opportunity of, let's make food ready to eat right off the shelf, and let's make it cheaper. And so when they did that, whenever you're processing something, higher temperatures or exposing it to the environment and free radicals and oxidation and other factors, it degrades the food and the vitamins that are in the food. And those vitamins contain different categories called vitamins. And so here's an example of a vitamin, the molecular structure. So let's take B6 right here in this category. You can see there's 6 different circles here. Well, there's 6 different molecular structures in B6. Our body, what they do is they utilize this. So when this gets assimilated into a cell, these molecular structures support our systems in a certain way. It's like the fuel. It's the unleaded fuel, right? Well, what they did, the government came out and said, look, you food manufacturers, people are getting sick and dying from eating your food. Like we know the pirates, they got scurvy, right? Out on the ocean because they weren't getting vitamin C because you couldn't sustain the fruits that long across that long of a travel. They didn't have refrigerators, right? So what happened is people started getting scurvy. They started getting rickets. They started getting pellagra. When he said pellagra, I'm like, that's a fun word to say. Let's see what that really is. And I started searching it. Do you know that pellagra starts out as a rash? That's not fun, but it can evolve into death if it's not addressed. And that's what was happening to people from eating this processed food. It's still kind of happening today, but in order to avoid it from happening as quickly as it did, the government said, you got to get the vitamins back into the fruits and vegetables and into the processed food you're making. So in a laboratory, they came up with synthetic vitamins that were more resilient and they didn't break down in the environment due to free radicals and other factors. So it's a tougher form it's a man-made form and it's tougher compared to what was in the fruits and vegetables. Let's just use as an example, Dr. Plant says, if you squeeze orange juice out of an orange, the vitamin C is only going to last about a day, 24 hours. And then this vitamin is too exposed to free radicals, which steal electrons from healthy atoms. And that's how it breaks it down. So what happens is you're not getting any vitamin C when you're buying store-bought orange juice because it only lasted for about a day and then it's no good. So you're just getting the taste of the orange juice and no vitamin C. Unless it's been fortified, and you'll see that a lot of times in food sources, fortified with, right? Your cereals say that. But look, With a synthetic vitamin in a lab, they're only covering one dynamic out of each of these categories. Your body and organs need all of them. So what Isagenix did is they came up with a way to use the cell membrane. That's the wall that protects the inside of the cell in a plant. It took over 5 years and millions of dollars, and Dr. Plant headed this up with the backing of Isagenix. If Isagenix got your back, raise your hand. They've had my back now for 20 years. Well, in this new revolutionary breakthrough, this hasn't happened in over 100 years. Nobody's done anything about this vitamin issue. We're now getting all of the vitamins in a whole food source. They're not synthetic. And Dr. Plant said, when you put this in your body, there's no way it's not going to impact every one of your organs. It's going to touch every factor in your body because you're getting all of the different dynamics now. And there's two things that are going on here. And then as you study this more, or maybe you start presenting on it, it starts to make more sense. If we're not getting the micronutrients out of our fruits and vegetables because they're not in the soil, we're missing them there. If you're turning to supplements that have not done anything about the synthetic vitamin issue, you're falling short there. And so we're seeing amazing results with people who are putting this vitamin into their body. My wife included, me included. I felt a mood change when I started taking this. It was like a rheostat. It just started turning up. So, if you don't feel better, if it's not doing anything, then why take it, right? We feel the difference in Isagenix, and I just challenge you, to put this to the test. So let's just, it's in our shake, right? 25% is, when you have a shake, you're getting 25% of your daily allowance. When you take the Pure Plant 21, 2 capsules is giving you 100% of your vitamins. I do both. I take the vitamin and I take a full 2 pills a day and I do 2 shakes a day. So I'm getting 150%. You have 1 billion or 1 trillion cells, like close to 100 trillion cells. Just put it in there, you guys. Get it in your body. So let's listen real quick, and then I'm going to toss it over to you, Rhonda, from Dr. Plant, who headed this up.
Well, let's talk about something you probably never thought you'd be talking about, vitamins, right? What makes a vitamin different? It's an everyday word that we use. We see it everywhere. How can we stand out in this, or how can we revolutionize something as old as vitamins? And to me, this has been kind of a big part of what I've been working on in the last 5 years.
While you're listening to this, type in, if you felt a result, what's the result you felt from the Pure Plant 21?
Reason is because, one, the vitamin space hasn't changed in 100 years. It hasn't changed in 100 years, and yet it is by far the largest segment of the supplementation space. And to me, it's sad that this huge behemoth of the supplement space hasn't evolved in 100 years. People have just been kind of going the status quo when there has been a huge gap in the need of what people are looking for. And it's not just finding different ratios of vitamins. It's nothing like that. It is way more revolutionary than that. If people can fully understand the message of what we are conveying here, the way in which you are looking at your pantries, the way in which you look at all the food that has been handed to you since about 1950 has been greatly adulterated. So right now, for the last 100 years, people have not been able to solve this problem. We know we can prevent people from getting scurvy and pellagra and dying by putting in synthetic vitamins, but we're not being able to provide optimal wellness. And it is because these natural vitamins that the food inherently contains is so quickly degraded. Your vitamin C in orange juice, fresh squeezed orange juice, is only going to last a day, right? And so how do you solve this problem? And this is what we've been working on for years at Isagenix, is we've been able to work with partners in different labs across the United States to where we've been able to analyze and isolate these natural vitamins and put them in a protective cellulose casing. That's the cell wall of plant material. And so now they're protected. Now individuals for the first time can now get all of their vitamins and minerals sourced from whole fruits and vegetables. And for the most part, the average individual really hasn't been getting their vitamins sourced from natural fruits and vegetables since about the 1950s.
Wow. I love being a part of Isogenics. Rhonda, they're so revolutionary.
It is, you guys. And so we address
That's
this,
something
we
you
address the
probably
lack of nutrition that's in the body, right? And it's so easy. Like I said in the chat, 2 shakes a day. And our shakes are undenatured New Zealand grass-fed whey protein, you guys, which means it's not processed at such a high temperature that the nutrients are dead. They're still fully present, fully alive. And it also comes with all the minerals and the enzymes and the healthy fats and the healthy carbs. And really, Dr. Paul Arciero, who is one of the researchers that did many of the independent studies on our system. And, you know, a lot of health products will do a study or quote a study on one ingredient, okay, that was done on, you know, rats in a field, you know, in a study, okay, and they're saying that, you know, this product will do this for you. And, you know, okay, that's some version of science, but we have the highest level, the gold standard of science on our systems, on all of our products with all of our ingredients. And we compare them, we take our system and we compared it to the heart healthy diet, right? The Mediterranean diet, the most popular diet in, you know, out there, right? And we killed it. We killed it. We had twice the results as of that diet. So our 2 shakes a day, the pure plant vitamins, and you know that you're absolutely getting all the nutrients your body needs for the day. And I tell everyone who's getting started, because that's not it. We got a couple more products we're going to talk about. But I tell everyone who's getting started, you really want to do 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. So if my ideal body weight is 130 pounds, then I need 130 grams of protein. And I just divide that up over 4 meals or 4 servings throughout the day. That's what the protein pacing science proves, that it works. Double the results. You guys, we get better results than eating healthy alone by double. There's a reason for that. It's because the nutrients are missing in the food. Remember, we started off with this conversation. Why do you think our bodies are shutting down and having such severe consequences? These nutrients are necessary, essential nutrients to our bodies, and it's just not in the food we eat. And in our fast-paced lives, and I don't know about you guys, but man, if you're running with, you know, like a, you know, nonstop, I am, and it's like these shakes, boom, I have my shake in the morning, I throw one in my bag for the day, and I'm out and about, and I get all that in. And so, Dave, are you going to talk about Dr. Paul?
Yeah, real quick though, I wanted you to share, you know, I was at a training, it was JJ Burton, and he was wide receiver for the NFL, right? Loves Isogenics, became a millionaire in Isogenics through helping other people. And I only remember one thing he said. I'm sure he talked about some science, but he said, it's got to pass the taste test. If it doesn't taste good, then I'm not going to do it. I don't care how good it is for me. And that's what stuck with me out of everything he said when he was on the stage. So I love when you share your story about, I'm not a shake person. I can't do a shake for a meal. Do you want to share that part of your story?
For sure. When I first saw this presentation and when Dr. John Gray shared it with me, and I ordered it and it arrived, and I looked at the instructions and it said I was going to have 2 shakes, one for breakfast, one for lunch, and then a healthy dinner. And I was like, no way. I was certain, you guys, I could not do shakes for meals. Did anyone think that before they got started? Put a 1 in the chat. I was certain, and I tell you, it didn't take more than 3 to 4 days, Dave, and I was running to the shake every meal. And I know a lot of us that are trying this and have been on this for a long time feel the exact same way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it comes down to, right? Do we enjoy it? Because if we don't enjoy it, we'll be using willpower. Because the only way you're going to do something that you don't enjoy, that you don't want to do, is through willpower. And willpower doesn't last. I remember listening to Dr. Deepak Chopra, and he said 100% of calorie restricted diets fail because it takes willpower. And that motivation and willpower becomes long forgotten as you get into it. And you're like, I don't like doing this anymore. I don't even remember why I'm doing it. And you stop doing it. So you got to actually crave it. And it's got to actually be, how many of you are addicted to these shakes? Like, I am addicted, right? There's a good addiction. There's a bad addiction. Let's listen to Dr. Paul talk about 3 myths. I really like what he lays out here because he has over 90 clinical peer-reviewed clinical studies with human trials, not with mice, right? Not in a cultured petri dish. These are real results with people.
So that's what we have to stay committed to. Those products that are going to keep people healthy for the rest of their life so that they can stay on them the rest of their life. And that's what we need to continue to stay focused on. We need people committed to this as a lifelong lifestyle journey, not a 30-day and done, not a 9 or 11-day and done, not a temporary transient in and out, but things that we would do for the rest of our lives to optimize our health. I'm committed to the company as well for the same reasons. They have been doing it right for over 2 decades, and why would you want to go anywhere else? It doesn't make any sense to me why anyone would want to not be a part of Isagenix or leave if they have been, because Isagenix has been doing it the right way for over 2 decades. So yeah, everything you said was wonderful.
Dr. Paul, as someone that's deeply involved in research, what's one common myth about nutrition that you wish people would stop believing?
Calories in equals calories out. Exercise more and eat less. It's this slogan that we've kind of hung up on every door of every healthcare provider in the world. That the solution to obtaining health is just to eat less and exercise more. And nothing is diametrically opposing in the human body than those 2 concepts. If you want to extinct a species, you want to demand that it move more and it consume nourishment less. So why we would expect that for a human is a little bit crazy. It's totally irrational. It's totally nonsensical, and I don't understand it. So that's the biggest myth that I've never understood. We walk around telling people as healthcare providers that, it's simple to get healthier, just eat less and move more. No, that would be the exact recipe that you would provide to somebody who you would want to achieve the greatest level of disease and unhealth. We need to nourish our bodies with the greatest optimal nutrient-dense nourishment in the world. That's what Isagenix provides.
And in the world, you guys, and he knows, he's done the clinicals, right? And we're going to share a little bit more on a clinical that he did that blew his mind. But you guys, it's the best meal on the planet. I've been saying that long before he said it.
That's what I bring with protein pacing and prize. It's my 38 years of very rigorous, sophisticated, peer-reviewed, high-impact human clinical trial research in those 2 areas. So I'm really excited to bring the protein pacing and prize at the highest level of engagement and execution by Isagenix because it's there to survive the test of time. It's focused on the quality of how we nourish our body with the food we eat and the movement we do. That's number 1. Number 2 would be we eat too much protein. Nothing is further from the truth. We're on a completely downward trajectory since 1970 in terms of the quantity of protein we eat. I'm on a mission with the protein pacing calculator and algorithms at proteinpacing.org to completely change that. And it's all going to start right here with Isagenix. Number 3 would be whole food is all we need to obtain optimal health. That's just simply far-fetched misinformation. Our food supply is just not capable of providing us optimal nourishment right now because we've depleted the soil, we've inundated it with toxins at every level of water, air, and soil. And so we need to look to things that have been properly constructed and produced and formulated to provide optimal nourishment along with certain whole foods that we can obtain to provide us an adequate level of optimal nourishment. So it's the balance of what Isagenix provides in their optimal nutrient-dense nourishment of about 50 to 60% of our intake, with the other remaining 40 to 50% coming from those proper whole food sources of food. So that's the balance we need in order for us to achieve optimal health.
So, and he's in his mid-60s, I believe. And he's fit. He plays like very, rigorous tennis. And I know Malcolm's on here. Malcolm's coming up on 70 and he's skiing like better than when he was in his 20s. opening and closing the lifts every day. He went 6 days in a row this year at, I think it was Mammoth. And he did that last year too. And before Isogenics, he was hobbling into the parking lot by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then he'd have to recover for a few days. Now he's going 6 days in a row, opening and closing the lifts. He's like the kid in the swimming pool. Would you get out? It's time to go home. And they're like in the middle of the pool. No, can't make me get out. Right? So if you're enjoying something because of Isogenics, type it in there, what you're enjoying. What's that quality of life that you get to enjoy? I picked up motocross at 48 years old. Oh my, pretty amazing, right? So one more, he's going to go over the study here, and then we'll dive into just a few more things. This is the clinical study that was published in Nature Communications, the highest gold standard of publications.
All right, so the changes were profound. One of the things that we did was we had one study participant who was in the protein pacing nutritional fasting group. And this gentleman was 62 years old. So I just want to speak to some of you out there that think age makes a difference in how we respond to things. I'm here to tell you that nothing is further from the truth. At 62 years old, he had the greatest response. And again, the average age was 44, 46. He was 62. He had the greatest change in body weight loss, body fat loss, visceral fat loss, and gut remodeling. This is his gut remodeling right here that I'm showing you. We followed him because he lost 105 pounds in 120 days. His doctor called me and she said, this is unbelievable. I've been working with this patient for over 30 years. He's tried every diet known to humans, and he's never had this type of a response. His liver enzymes, his kidney enzymes, his blood work, he's reversed his diabetes. And I know, many of you aren't able to say this, but I can because I documented it in the study. He reversed his diabetes. He reversed his high blood pressure. He reversed his high blood lipids, all of those. He had high blood pressure. He had type 2 diabetes. He had hypertension. All of that reversed. Amazing. I'm going to end here because I think this brings it all home. Look at his gut in the picture on the left. This is him when he started. And this was 3 days before we started the study. We started the study in the fall, right at Labor Day. This is him 3 days before the study started because we asked everyone of the subjects to take a picture of themselves. This is him the day of his testing 4 months later. 4 months, 120 days. He lost 105 pounds. He reduced his body fat drastically. His waist circumference just fell off. His blood sugar, again, he was diabetic. He went from diabetic to non-diabetic. He was hypertensive to non-hypertensive. I think I'll end there just because that's a telling picture that speaks 1,000 words. And I'm just so grateful. So to finish, what we found was that in comparison to a protein pacing, nutritional fasting, to a heart healthy Mediterranean style diet, total weight, fat, and visceral fat loss was upwards of 58% improvement. Gut microbial diversity was a 25% increase. And then the reduction in GI symptoms was 55% improvement.
Unbelievable. How many people have you had, Rhonda, that would say, well, I'm just going to start eating healthy, right? I'm just going to start eating healthy.
Yes, I do. I understand that thought process. I really do. Unless they've already tried that for a long time and it's not working, that's when they usually show up on our Zooms and on our phone calls. And I always just tell people, you go ahead, if that's what you want to try that. I'm going to follow up with you in a month or two because we know it's not working, you guys. It's just not addressing all of the issues. Eating healthy, we already discussed, doesn't have the nutrients, but it also doesn't address the very, very important other issues that our system addresses, which is toxins and stress. So we're going to get into that in a second. I want to just say, Dr. Paul just showed you one of the most miraculous stories of this study, but you guys, we have over 18 peer-reviewed published studies, okay? It's not one guy that got great results, you guys. We have hundreds of thousands of success stories. We literally have, I don't know, over 300 or more people that have lost over 100 pounds. And, so, we continue to do studies. We continue to bring the best of the best. And one of my favorite things, Dave, I'll toss it back to you, is that we triple test every single ingredient that goes into our products. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I want as least amount of toxins in my body as possible. Okay. So I can thrive. Right. And so every ingredient that we buy, we test it ourselves. It comes with a certification. It says it's clean. It says it's pure. It says it has no toxins in it, no pesticides. It says it is what it says it is. It's all certified, by the gold standard of testing that's out there. And we say thank you for providing us that certification. We are going to test it ourselves. And we spend millions of dollars every year testing every single ingredient that goes into every single product that we make. Now, for me, that's a yes. Dave?
I'm on board. Sign me up.
Yes.
The clinical study, just real quick, it was 2 groups. And one group was eating the Mediterranean diet, which is fruits and vegetables, nuts and berries, and then pick your protein, fish, chicken, beef, whatever you want, right? So that's a whole food, right? Like that's what we went up against. And we had 4 times more fat loss, 4 times more muscle increase. That's a big health risk as you lose muscle as you get older. And this is with no exercise. Out of these 2 groups, doubled the metabolism and tripled getting the metabolic waste and heavy metals and pesticides out of the body through the urination process. So the body's detoxing itself. And it does it 3 times better than a whole food diet with Isogenics. Now, the thing that I remember that I think it's like, that's a clue. Like the things that I tune in, like JJ Burton say, it's got to pass the taste test, and Isogenics does, right? So it's, he said in the 2 groups, he says, anytime you do a clinical study, you always have people who quit. Even though you're paying them, you're asking them to do something that they weren't doing, and they got to stay within the parameters or they're kicked out of the study. He said, you can lose 40 to 60% of your participants by the time you get to the end. And he said there was so many outliers with Isogenics that I would say BS. There's no way that this happened. And this is one of them. I would have never thought of it. It has nothing to do with the product and everything to do with people and maintaining a lifestyle approach. He said the same amount of people quit that were doing the Mediterranean. There was no surprise. There was no shock and awe. The shock and awe was with Isogenics. Only 2 people didn't finish the study, and one of them moved. They couldn't. So only one person, he said, that's impossible. That never happens in a clinical study. Even if you're paying them, only one person in Isogenics quit. So yeah, there was 2 different groups and they did the comparison, human trial, right? And it ended up in Nature's Communications. We could go on and on and on. I mean, look, he said, let me do one with athletes. That's what I love the most. Yeah. And they got the top 40 most fit, supplementing, working out the most athletes. They had over 200 people show up. And he said, we got to hand select the top 40. And this is their improvement. This was the study. You only get to work out 4 to 5 days a week because most of them were working out 6 and 7 days a week. 4 to 5 days a week and no more of your supplements. You're going to use Isogenics. The men doubled their upper body strength. They were already at peak performance. They weren't getting better. They were just plateaued out where they were. Doubled it. Quadrupled their cardio power. I don't even know how to say that, in whatever that. 14 times more lower body explosiveness. That's why Malcolm can ski and open and close the lifts, and they're pulling him off the mountain. 3 times greater back and hamstring flexibility. That's going to be a big deal in skiing as well. Look at this for the women, and this is just some of the results. 5 times more upper body strength, upper strength power. So like explosive power, like, holding your pose when you're doing Pilates and yoga and things like that. I've heard so many stories from people where they're like, I can hold a pose that I wasn't able to hold before. Double their muscle endurance. That would be like skiing. That would be like motocross. That would be like, you're running a marathon. And check out this one. 5 times less arterial stiffness. Just from consuming the product. How do you work out your blood vessels? You don't. It's the nutrients that are impacting it. Remember those vitamins and the molecular structures? Now the blood vessels are getting what they need. Everything in your body needs something to perform optimally. So, look at these results, Rhonda. You have your pictures, I have my pictures. So many people have our own pictures, right? I'm just going to kind of go through this. We've got a few more things we want to go through, but I mean, you could see the pictures here. 3-time world champion, never competed. Wendy gets on isogenics. 3-time world champion, professional, all natural bodybuilding. Chase couldn't gain the weight, and he's a teenager. It doesn't just happen when we get older. Now it's getting worse and worse for our kids. And then he didn't qualify for lungs. For the transplant. He was too sick, too many other comorbidities. It would be a waste of lungs. He gets on isogenics. That's his 6-month transformation. After 4 years of being on the products, he approved, and he's out of the hospital in 13 days after the surgery. Record at Stanford University. Nobody's ever done that. And he's up to bench pressing 315 pounds, 16 pounds. He said, I want to break the world record for somebody over 70 years old. Like, we're setting a whole new standard for 70 and older, right? Jeff Beebe, Jeff, you're on here. You told Debbie to stop. You'll pay her to stop doing isogenics. And look at your results. I mean, just share your results here real quick, Jeff.
Hey, guys. Thank you, Dave. And listen to the energy. Dave, the energy. Rhonda, the energy. There's something in this stuff. You can see my results. I jumped on. I was a skeptic that they talked about in this thing. I kicked and scratched for a whole year with my wife. She got on it because she had some medical problems that she needed to address immediately. She is a specimen of health. And I raised my hand after seeing results from her clients. Like, no way. And I dropped 28 pounds my first month. I dropped a total of 60 pounds in 4 months. Listen to this. I went from a 38-inch waist to a 31-inch waist. I've been on this product for almost 13 years now. I still have a 31-inch waist. I'm in the best shape of my life. And I'm 64 years old, almost 65 years old. So put in the chat if you're new and you're just looking at put a 1 in there, please. And if you put a 2 in there, if you've been with isogenics for less than 6 months. Because if you have, your life's about to change. If you stay consistent, you're going to live a long, uncompromised life. And I'm just so thankful. I can't shut my mouth about it. I spread it with everybody I come into contact with because I just want everybody to thrive in life and thrive in 2025. Let's go. And again, this company is just giving and giving and giving. They give promotions. They give them promotions for New Year's resolutions. Right now they're doing a big promotion. And just if you're thinking about it, act, just do it, man. Don't be a skeptic like I did. And I just appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate you, Rhonda. And I just can't shut my mouth up because I love this product so much. For 13 years now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well said. Thanks, Jeff. And my kids, I mean, the people we love the most, that's who we started sharing it with. And that was our kids. Now our grandkids love it. And the health and the difference that we see in their lives. Sarah, she wasn't getting better, no quality of life. Crystal shared with her immediately. She started getting results. This is her most recent results. This is probably the most recent. Now she's out kayaking and hiking and enjoying life to the fullest. And that's what it comes down to, quality of life. Right, Rhonda? You're muted out.
Okay, sorry, someone came in my kitchen. A whole new life. That's what it's about, you guys, and maintaining your health span, not just your lifespan. How long do you want to be vibrantly healthy? Me, all the way to the end. So you can go to the fasting. So we address nutrition, 2 shakes a day, and a healthy meal and healthy protein snacks. The cool thing about this system, you never have to go hungry. If you're hungry in the beginning, don't worry, that'll all work itself out. As soon as your body gets enough of this nutrition in, you're not going to be hungry. Like Dave said, you're not going to be depriving yourself. You're going to go from craving ice cream, literally, to craving broccoli. This is what happens when you have a healthy body. This is why no one ever has to go on a diet again. for the rest of their life. Diets don't work. You can only deprive yourself for so long. So this drink, this Cleanse for Life drink, this is part of the system, and this addresses toxins. Now, toxins are coming in from everywhere: the water, the food, the air, the fire retardant on our mattress. You name it, we are breathing in and taking in toxins at massive doses. We're putting them on our skin. We're putting them in our mouth all day long. And what happens is our body, yes, it knows how to detox, but it can't handle this number of toxins. And it'll take the fat, it'll take the toxin, it'll stick it in fat, and it'll stick it right here, right in between your organs, to be dealt with later. It's protecting you. I could just cry thinking about how smart and our bodies are. It's like, wait, too many toxins. So it'll put it in the fat so it doesn't go into the blood and get into all of your organs, and it's got to be dealt with later. So we have a Cleanse for Life drink that is clinically proven to push those toxins out of your body. There's many different ways you can do it, and you'll find the way that works for you. But the fact of the matter is, we don't just flood your body with, whole food, non-GMO, organic, pure nutrition that you're missing. We don't just do that. We detoxify the body so you can let go of that visceral fat, which is deadly. And Dave, you can talk about this, and then we'll talk about stress, and then we'll let people know how they can get started.
Yeah, absolutely. This was key in the clinical study with the weight loss and why people were not, between the shake and the Cleanse for Life, to me, that's the 1-2 punch. And in the clinical study, they're showing an MRI. This is a cutaway of the organs, and the white is the fat. So this would be the waste, this would be your kidneys and your intestines. And this fat is the most dangerous fat. It's called visceral fat. And what it's doing, like Ronda was saying, it's harboring toxins. And so at that point, once the toxins get in there, it doesn't want to release. That's why they came up with liposuction. We'll just get a vacuum and we'll suck it out, right? Not effective, and it hurts, and you need your fat cells to protect you. So, but let's just detox the fat. And this is showing the same person in this clinical study, the cutaway, that big old piece of fat is gone. And look around the waist too. You can see it. Like when he said that guy's waist just fell off, it did. Because there was no more toxins in there. Your body doesn't need to hold on to that much extra stored energy. It's protecting you. So if you remove the reason for it to protect you, it no longer needs it, because that's killing you too. The fat, right? So it's a 1-2 punch. When we go on a diet, we shrink our fat cells, but it releases toxins, but our organs aren't getting the extra nutrients to detox those. And so what happens? They just stay in the body. That causes a reaction in the body. Don't lose any more fat. You won't. You'll stay plateaued right there. And then when you quit your diet, you gain the weight right back, because diets don't work and they don't address the toxins. So when I got on the product, that's where I was. Very frustrating. Remember, I said, type in a number if you've ever been frustrated. This was about the third time I had gotten to this place. And it wasn't working. Doesn't matter about willpower. I'm fighting against science. So I was introduced to the cleanse, and like Jeff, I dropped a lot of weight in my first month, 27 pounds. Like the clinical study, with no exercise. It addressed the problem at the foundation. And I've been able to maintain that 53 pounds now for coming up on 20 years. Incredible. It just doesn't stop. We got this and a couple of other products we just want to hit on real quick, but real quick on the ionics and stress. Like, nobody deals with stress, do they, Rhonda?
All day, every day, right? So yeah, I'll talk about this for a second too, Dave. The Ionic Supreme, when I met our formulator, John Anderson, he's such a genius. I asked him what was the most important product if I was stranded on a desert island. I thought for sure it'd be the shakes, right? It's food, it's meal, it's complete, it's everything we need. He told me straight up, this right here. Ionic Supreme is loaded with 100 active ingredients. It's nature's answer to stress. It's adaptogens. But here's the results you get, okay? You get focus, you get stamina, you get natural energy, you get a reduction in inflammation, you help you sleep better, you get better moods. It helps bring back down the response to stress in your body. So this is in there. So how do you use this? 1 ounce a day, super easy. How do you use the cleanse? There's 3 different ways to use the cleanse. The person that is going to sign you up and help you get started is going to help you do a start with the cleanse and start doing intermittent fasting days with our cleanse. And Dave, we also have a couple other products that you want to talk about. Then we'll tell them how to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, 6 minutes. Here we go.
Go.
Telomeres, they're the caps on the ends of your chromosomes that protect your DNA. And I was mentored by Bill Andrews when he partnered up with our company. He's a geneticist, and he identified this enzyme, and he believed that that was the answer and the solution to the degeneration of the telomere. See the red tape? It's getting shorter and shorter. As it gets shorter and shorter, you're damaging more and more DNA until you shut down and die. That's Nobel Prize winning research, and nobody's figured out a way to prevent that from happening. Bill Andrews believed there was a way, and he theorized it, and he proved it. So as the telomere gets shorter and shorter and shorter, he believed if you could induce more of this enzyme, telomerase, in the cells, the telomere would repair, and it would go backwards, and it would repair the DNA. Just like when you get a cut, your skin heals itself, right? Pretty amazing. Well, he was able to get cells to produce more of this enzyme in his lab, and the repair to the telomere and the DNA started reversing. Just like when you get cut with the skin. Never happened before. One of the biggest breakthroughs ever for mankind. He said if that happened in this guy, we could reverse his DNA damage. His physical expression would go back to when there was no damage to his DNA. Your body is a mirror reflection of your DNA. And now we restore at the core. And we partnered up with Bill Andrews and now have the world's greatest telomere support. Here's an example of Bob Sheridan in the Boxing Hall of Fame. 6 months, 1 year. Absolutely transformed his health, his well-being. Another reason why Malcolm is skiing and opening and closing the lifts, because he's operating at a younger age physiologically. Literally, his telomeres and his DNA, he has more of it intact than his peers do. Why? Because he's supporting it nutritionally in a way that they're not. And the only reason they're not is because they don't know about it yet. Or maybe they're not open to it, because I know Malcolm talks to everybody. Our collagen, this is another breakthrough, a revolutionary breakthrough in something as simple as collagen, which so many people are aware of. Look at the results in 2 weeks on our collagen. That's 1 month. She started feeling better. She said, I started taking the stairs just from taking the collagen. She said, I stopped drinking soda just from taking the collagen. And Crystal had been trying to get her on Isagenix for like 3 years. Finally, after doing the collagen, she said, man, I better get on those other products. Look at the results from this collagen. That's 6 months. That's her. That's not her granddaughter. That's her. Look at that transformation in 6 months. That's him. 4 months, 8 months, 1 year of just the collagen. These are just collagen results. 42 days. They did a whole thing with the molecules and the way they're synergistically blending it together and using a therapeutic dose of unadulterated marine collagen. It's helping hair, nails, skin, but it also helps ligaments. We've prevented people from having to get rotator cuff surgery, knee surgery, because it helps bones, ligaments, and joints. It's the most abundant protein in the body. Yeah, we go on and on. You guys, you would expect to pay more when you're getting better results, right? There's the comparison. Our shake is $3.92. And when I started Isagenix, that was $7.40. I think we're over $15 for the average takeout now. And they just come out. Inflation on food is going up even more. But in all these categories, it wins all day long, and you're saving money. I guarantee people a 30-day money back guarantee. You'll save $300 to $500 a month. You'll have $300 to $500. I just had a conversation with a guy at BNI. He's all, but isn't it expensive? I'm like, I guarantee you'll save at least $300 by replacing 2 meals a day. Look, 2/3 of your meals for the month, $220. How many of you are getting like sticker shock? Not buying a car, buying groceries. I just picked up a few things. It was $75 at the Super Walmart. They were all grocery items and there wasn't very much. It was $75. And it wasn't even like a week's worth of meals, not even close. It was a fraction of that, and it was $75. Look at the macaroni and cheese from Walmart. $3.43 for ready to eat macaroni and cheese. I know you could get the box one that you boil and you throw milk in there and then you throw some of your own cheese because it's not cheesy enough. That's going to raise the price. I was walking by the aisle. I just wanted to see what it was. It was $1, I think it was 49 for the boxed. You got to boil the macaroni and cheese. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? With the cancer packet you pour into it. $1.50. It's like, it's crazy, right? And that's not even food. And it's not going to sustain you till the next meal. So, Rhonda, it's incredible what Isagenix has and the specials that are going on. And I want, after you explain this here, I want Debbie to come on and just kind of tell her story and how, the insights she got with Isagenix and sharing it and what the whole package did for her and her family. But do you want to talk about this real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, I love Debbie. Yes. Okay. So you guys, right now until Sunday at midnight Eastern time, so 9 p.m. Pacific, Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern time, 20% off our packs, you guys. And that is massive, massive. Now, also, if you get two friends to do it with you, which I did right out of the gate because I wanted some accountability. I wanted a couple friends to try it with me and, cheer each other on. I knew I would do better if I had some friends I was rocking it with, right? So right now, Isagenix has a bonus that they pay when you share Isagenix in the world. They're doubling it. So what you need to know is that with two friends, your pack is pretty much paid for. So if you're thinking, well, even though I'm saving $300, it's still an upfront cost. Well, we want you to know we're going to help you find two friends to do it. And then you're not going to spend a dime. So you're just taking your grocery money and buying this. Now you're going to get this paid for because you're going to have two friends join you and you're going to take your grocery money and you're going to buy your new skinnier pants because you're going to need it. Okay. So right now you can get started with one of our packs. They're 20% off. So we've got this value pack in the middle. It's our most popular and it is $629 normally, but right now it's $503, you guys. And then the pack above that, which I love, that's a 60-day pack. And the value pack is a 30-day pack. The ultimate pack is a 60-day pack. And that's normally $1,099. That's down to $876. That's 2 months, you guys. Or for two people or a big family. That type of nutrition is game changer. So Debbie, come on. I want to hear your story. It's always so incredible. And anybody who's listening today, we want to thank you for being on and we want to make sure you get back to the person who invited you. Let them help you put your order in before Sunday, get that discount, let them help you text a few friends and encourage them. Come on, let's do this together. It's the new year. So Debbie is one of our rock stars. She's a millionaire in the company. And Debbie, I'd love to hear your story, love.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, Dave. Good morning, everybody. This is just, here every Saturday. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite everybody you can think of because they deserve to feel like we feel and allow their bodies to be the miracle that it can be. Goodness sakes, Dave, you had said how many people said no in the beginning. I didn't have the opportunity. I didn't have the leisure to say no because I was in shape, but my health was compromised. So to the outside, I was in shape, but my health was compromised. I was not getting the nutrients and the minerals that I needed. I was eating chicken and broccoli. I was working out 7+ days a week. Like I was a mad woman in the gym, had many clients, and I had something that was very serious and I needed a very serious surgery that was going to, not only was I already compromised, it was going to leave me even more compromised. And a friend introduced me to Isagenix. My body absorbed those nutrients that it needed. And then my body responded like the miracle that it is. And there's times that I want to take people and I don't want to shake them because that'd be mean, but I just wish I could put my hands on them and say, feel how I feel, because like Jeff said, we're almost 65 years old. And I, for almost 13 years, have felt amazing and would never let go of Isagenix and my health. I don't know what else to say other than
Sharing is caring, right?
Sharing is
Sharing is
caring.
caring.
And something that struck in me when you were talking is isogenics allows me to love my body instead of beat it up. Because being in fitness and nutrition for over 30 years, I feel like that was the message. Like, we've got to get in the gym and we've got to beat these bodies up because they need to respond to they're not responding, they're not looking right, they're not feeling right. Let's just come on, more, beat it up, cardio, lift. If you're not getting the minerals, the nutrients, and the vitamins, it's not going to work. It's 80% nutrition, 20% working out because we need to move our bodies. Let's start loving our bodies instead of punishing our bodies. And that's what Isogenics has allowed me to do. And it was just when you were talking, like, I'm getting emotional. When you were talking, that sparked in me, like, I now love it instead of am mad at it.
Yeah.
And why not spread that beautiful word out into the world? And why not, like Rhonda hit on, like, we've got Isogenics blows me away how generous they are. And they give us bonuses and they pay us to share. We all pay the same and we get paid the same. So why wouldn't we share it? Like, if you found something at Whole Foods or something at Target or whatever, and it rocked your world, you're out there like, hey girl, you need to buy this. I found this at Target. Why wouldn't we be doing that with Isogenics? Like, why not? You want your friends and family to feel good. You want to, as you go into your life, not be so compromised in health. Like, we don't treat or cure or diagnose or not any of that, right? But how about living as uncompromised as possible and being with our friends and family in that journey? Like, this is it. I've studied this for over 30 years. This is it. Get your friends and family knowledgeable, like, get them involved. And if you're not all the way in, you deserve to be all the way in now.
Well said, Debbie. When you love yourself, it resonates out to others. We got to fix this first, and then it resonates out. One more story from Kathy. We have all these millionaires. What was the sixth? I see dead people. I see millionaires, right? But we also have 100-pound loser, right, on our call. And Kathy, you released over 100 pounds. Whoops, sorry. See if you could unmute there. And was an IsaBody finalist. I mean, how did it feel to release 100 pounds?
Well, I mean, I had carried it from the time I was 19 years old when I gave birth to my son. So setting out to reclaim my health and releasing 100 pounds as a result of that without a focus on it was something that helped me feel like all the years I spent thinking I was broken because I couldn't fix my health, I was never broken. I just didn't know. And it's given me so much. It's hard to put it into a quick word, but most of all, what spurred me in the beginning was not being able to be with my grandkids. I wanted to play with them, wanted to take care of them, and now I do that. And I got to share an experience of climbing the incline with my oldest granddaughter just this year. And that was, I couldn't even put a dollar amount on what it was worth to me.
No price you could put on that. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Isogenics. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Jeff, go ahead.
I just want to say, we got another guy, Roy, here. He's 4 pounds away from hitting 100 pounds.
Ooh, Roy, unmute yourself and give us
a background
commercial.
A background along with this, so it shows the nutrition value of this product.
Guys, thank you. Really quick, I'll try to keep this as short as possible. I originally got on Isogenics back in 2014. Signed up underneath a individual who's no longer with the company. Jeff was actually my three-way call who did the enrollment, and I got no support. But in my first 4 months, I dropped 80 pounds alone, just into the 4 months. I got a little disconcerted because I wanted to build a business and I couldn't get the help. So what I ended up doing is I ended up terming out my account, which was one of the stupidest things I'll never, ever do again. I went back to college thinking, well, I've got all this experience in training and nutrition, but I don't have a college degree. I can't get a job as a health coach or a trainer anywhere. I have to get a degree. I graduated 2020 with honors from the University of Montana in my health and human performance degree. And early 2024, I signed up with another team wanting to give this another shot. And unfortunately, again, I kind of did not choose the right person and the individual. I got no support. I termed out my account for 6 months, but since I had originally signed up with Jeff in the beginning, I had kept a lot of these people on Facebook and I'd been watching their progress and really just yearning to be back with this nutrition and this program to the point where it caused a lot of depression and anxiety because I knew that this was going to be the cornerstone of health and fitness for me and for the legacy that I want to build for my grandchildren. And so just haphazardly ran back into Jeff, started talking with him on social media. And I started just kind of participating and coming on the Zoom calls and watching the team grow and listening to all of the results and all of the profound transformations. And as of today, I'm actually 2 pounds away from not 100 pounds. I'm 98 pounds down. I just re-enrolled with Jeff on Thursday. Thursday. No, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Yeah, Thursday. And I've already signed up 3 people on this double PIV with us,
Awesome.
and it feels so amazing. Yesterday, my family came over, and if you see on my Facebook page, I'm sitting there with my granddaughter doing some squats with her on my shoulder and some lunges, and she's doing curl crunches, and she wants to get in this business and help people become better. She told me, and that's like the best feeling ever in the world.
That's
So I
right.
know what Kathy says about playing with the grandchildren. It's the best decision, and I'm never leaving again. I'm going to the top.
Wow, great story. Great story. Thanks for sharing, Roy. And congratulations. And you're going to do it. We can't wait
Thank
to
you.
hear you say a 3-digit number. Awesome.
42 pounds to go to my goal.
Woo! I love
I
it.
started at 360. I'm going down to 220, and then we'll see what happens from there.
Wow, you're going to do it. All right, I'm going to unmute this, you guys. You can give a shout out. Go ahead and unmute. And thanks for being on this Saturday morning, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you,
you. Let's
guys.
rock. 1, 2,
Jeff.
3. Isogenics. Let's go.
Isogenics.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you guys.
Awesome stuff as always.
Sarasota, here I come.
Woo! I want to read through all these comments, man. There was some good feedback in there. Wow.
Roy, congratulations. You look so healthy.
Does.
I'm going to save these so I can read them.
Where is this recording saved, please?
It will go into the Forever Pack group.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see. Okay. See you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your Monday.
See ya.